In 1975, the Brigham Young University Psychology Department administrators organized a board of review for psychotherapeutic techniques to recommend policies governing the use of sensitive treatment techniques on campus. So within a year, the review board had assembled a list of 8 therapies being used at BYU, which could conflict with church teachings. However, most of the therapies were not stopped, including electric shock, vomiting aversion, and the use of pornographic materials. And you wonder what we're talking about? We're talking about college-sanctioned conversion therapy at BYU. So the person that interviewed this guy named Gerald Dye, which was chair of the University Standards Office in February 1978, reported what the set process was for homosexual students referred to standards for counseling. So there's this list of things that they had them do here. They asked to a personal interview with the standards to determine the depth or extent of involvement, previous involvement, if any, of offender. Does the student understand the seriousness of the matter? Which is like, it was just one dick. I mean, really.
Did you play with it? Did you massage the balls?
And that's got.
Well, I didn't enjoy it. But
that's got the LDS
anal involved.
That's got the LDS Church in trouble right now with them asking this shit of little kids. It's like, wrong. You shouldn't be doing that kind of thing anymore. And then they also want to know if the branch president or bishop is aware. It's like, really? You need to notify everybody in the clergy that I like a little bit of penis here and there. Really? Nah, let's see.
Who doesn't like a good dick?
And then, of course, if they haven't, the individual's branch president or home bishop is contacted. Standards is to determine if the offense is serious or not. Are you seriously gay or are you not?
Is this a game to you, sir?
Well, that's kind of what it is here. Like,
or is it just,
So serious is listed as repetition, anal/oral intercourse. Less serious is being experimental, and they misspelled it on this report. Mutual masturbation.
Oh, so jerking each other off is okay.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Well, okay, that's not that serious. You can go back to class.
Just wash your hands.
Here's my number. Let's see. And the action taken that they did on it, if determined to be serious, the student is expelled immediately. If less serious, the student may remain at BYU on a probationary basis. And they also act as intermediary between the student who remains and counseling service. The students who remain are required to undergo therapy. And then, so therapy here, this guy was obviously lying about this. He said that no student working through standards will undergo aversion therapy. When we know that's not the case. There's reports of this everywhere. If gay men were referred there by their bishops, stake presidents, or for BYU students, the standards committee, the teen boys as young as 15 were sent there by their bishops. BYU students were told that they either had to go through the aversion therapy or leave BYU. And this went on from, 75 for like the next 15 to 20 years. So there's been a lot of people that have been damaged by this out there.
Yeah.
Let's see. And so in 1976, a study at Brigham Young University called Effect of Visual Stimuli in Electric Aversion Therapy was written by an asshole Max Ford McBride, which was a graduate student in the psychology department, which that sounds like Third Reich kind of stuff going on there.
Yeah.
Where it's like, what happens if we show somebody something that turns them on and then shock the shit out of them?
Well, they might develop some issues later on.
Well, yeah,
how about that?
They'd attach something to the base of the guy's penis who they're testing to see if he was aroused, and would shock him if he sees pictures that arouse him.
Yeah, and that's exactly what they did. It says here, a mercury-filled tube was placed around the base of the penis to measure the level of stimulation he experienced when viewing nude images of men and women. Afterward, they were given shocks given in 3 10-second intervals. That's a long fucking time to be shocked.
Yeah,
man.
it is.
And then they were administered in conjunction with certain images. Others were given chemical compounds, which were administered through an IV and caused subjects to vomit when they were stimulated. So they tried to do the whole Clockwork Orange thing.
Yeah.
This is fucked up, people.
Yeah, they're fucking torturing people.
Yeah.
They're torturing people to try to change them.
And they try to say here that when this was discovered by the Mormon Church, they stopped all conversion practices at BYU. Like fucking hell. They signed off on this shit.
Yeah.
And they referred its homosexual students and other gay members to Evergreen International, located in Salt Lake City, Utah, whose mission was to assist people that want to diminish same-sex attractions and overcome homosexual behavior. They just took it off campus.
Did the same fucking thing.
Yeah. And the horror stories persisted because of all that shit. So it's just amazing to me that this was actually done at a somewhat, I mean, not prestigious in the world, but like they are supposedly a pretty good standards when it comes to education. I mean, you don't think of BYU the same way you think of Liberty University. You don't think of the same way.
No, but you probably should.
Yeah.
You should, absolutely. But it's just, it's fucked up that this happened to their own students, to their own church members on that fucking property.
Mm-hmm.
It's like how anybody in any religion could like justify this as okay. You know,
I don't know how they could, but they do.
And let's see, it finishes up here saying that on September 19th, 2009, Bruce C. Haffen, a general authority at the LDS Church, spoke at Evergreen annual conference at the Joseph Smith Memorial Building, a venue owned by the LDS Church. And it says here that without reservation or exemption, these people adhered to the church's teachings. It's just, man, God, I can't stand this shit. And it's just, people put themselves in this situation by remaining in the religion. If somebody told me that I couldn't be who I am because of like this book says so, I mean, I'd give him a big fucking middle finger and be on my way. I understand that there's a lot more involved than that. Some people can't just do that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, some people are reliant on their parents for support, and while they're going to college, and so that it's not available to everybody. But
no, it's just it's too bad that this kind of thing happened to so many people out there. And then the worst part is that the victims of this probably won't come forward of it because they thought, or at least they received guarantee from the church that everything is okay now. You're no longer same-sex attracted, so they can't come forward and talk about this kind of thing. I mean, some people thankfully have left the church, but the ones that remain within, it's another one of those black stains on the Mormon Church's record, and they somehow are still getting it passed. They're still remaining tax exempt. I don't fucking get it.
It doesn't. I don't know. I just don't know.
No hope for this fucking religion. They're never going to reform, and when they do, it's already going to be too fucking late.